And just like that, everyone, we are back. We're going to finish this game. Alright, so, getting right along with things. We're going to go check out these here elevator platform things. They're going to be vital to the next point of progression in this here game. These here pipes, they're going to be vital too. We're going to be riding through them like a water slide. And this here fire hydrant, blowing this up is going to be integral. There's going to be some assassins that spawn down here at some point in the future. Now you're going to notice these two sides of this here machine are about the same. It's like the sides of the political spectrum. They're really about the same when it comes down to it. But at the end of the day, the difference is superficial. That's the whole point of things. And there's assassins on both sides. That's what you got to realize. You got to blow that there. Got to blow that there electrical panel up there. We're going to go ahead and climb this ladder to get to this other here platform. We're going to go right on through this door here. I'm going to check, make sure there's no ghouls and goblins back here. I don't think there are. But if I got to take a piss, I know where I'm going to go for some privacy. Is right back there. Alright, so essentially... Oh, shit. Okay. Well, that was worthless. Looks like we have to go down here and then... somewhere else. Ah, through here. Okay. Oh shit. He's got a penetrator. Fuck. I know there's another one of you fucks. I can fucking see you. Whoa! Hello, sir.
Would you like to talk about Jesus? Jesus has appeared this time in reality in the form of my penetrator ammo that's going right in your knee like Skyrim style.
I used to be a f.e.a.r NPC, then I got a depleted uranium rod to the knee.
Guys, I'm just going to stop the video for a sec to apologize for that joke. I think we all have to have a moment of silence for that, because that was fucking terrible. It was beneath us, it was beneath me, it was beneath you as an audience. I shouldn't have done it. I do apologize for it, that was terrible. Oh, shit, but we do have another... That's one of the good rocket guns, hell yeah. Alright, let's grab that real quick. Grab this, grab that again. Hell yeah, how much ammo do you have? Oh man, 75 shots? That's fucking good. That is going to be helpful later on. Okay, can we get through here? No, we need the chalice of femininity to get through there. But we'll grab that at some point.
I went to the Eyes Wide Shut party for the first time and they put a metal spike through my brain.
They do that to every new recruit, man. You gotta get with the game here. Alright, so I think can we jump up these things? Is that possible? I don't even know. Evidently not, but maybe I'm just doing it badly. No, we're not supposed to go up there. We're definitely not supposed to go down there. That definitely looks like a bad area to be in. So we're going to go ahead and bypass that. Okay, so I think we have to put the penile electro thing into the vaginal electro hole with this button. Let us see if that is the play here. Is it going to work? Oh, guys, all you machine fetishists, all you helicopter kin, I'm sure you love that. I'm an industrial power node kin. I know it's an awkward term. We're trying to come up with a better one, but that's the type of shit that gets my dick hard. There's nothing else that does. I don't want to get into why, but that's the only reason. That's the only thing that gets me off. I'm sorry to anyone who thinks that's strange or deviant, but I didn't choose to be this way. I was born with it, or the experiences I had when I was very young made me this way. Either way, it doesn't really matter. I can't change it, so no amount of therapy and conditioning, reconditioning, etc. will change me. So I basically have to just deal with it. And I have no sunglasses with which to make that badass. I just have to be a pathetic freak. So please, don't line me up against a brick wall and shoot me. I mean, do that if you like. I can't stop you. But if you do, you will deprive yourselves and the rest of society of whatever strange insights I might be able to provide by virtue of being possessed by the strange fetish demon that possesses me. Which I have under mostly complete control at this point. So, again, you know, delete me from reality at your own risk. You will probably lose more than you gain.
Look at him. He's so innocent, he doesn't even know we're here. Oh, now he does. Woo!
God fucking damn it, are you serious? That fucking killed me? God damn it. Good thing we saved, holy shit.
Go down on a man! We're in the army. There's no women here. The ones that are here are in a separate unit. Fuck that shit.
God damn, I love how the game makes your ears ring when a grenade goes off. I love that shit. Alright, let's grab some penetration ammo here. No, I don't want this. Good God, no. You fucking serious?
What am I, a plebeian of some sort? I can't possibly be asked to use such an inferior projectile weapon. I must have the penetrator. It's the only weapon for me. Now, if you'll notice, there's some interesting candies hidden under here. And if you're smart enough to go around the other side here, you'll also notice if you jump up here, then you jump up onto this pipe, and then you proceed to jump up the other pipe. There's actually more candies and goodies on this side of the level as well. There's in fact an entire candy tunnel that most people miss. It's sort of a back door, if you will, but if you access it gently, carefully, respectfully, and consensually, you can intuit certain things and receive certain insights that others have avoided out of sheer fear or out of the guilt conditioning that our entire society attempts to function off of.
Oh, damn, another fucking Alienware. Alright, let's check this out. Actually, before we do, let's see if we can zoom in on the programs on the desktop and actually see what they are. What the fuck are these? No, there's no way. There's not enough resolution. Okay. Never mind.
I figured out what a synchronicity event is. There was an incident where they lost control suddenly. He just suddenly started freaking out. He was only about 10 years old at the time, but I guess he killed a few people. In the investigation, they discovered that there had been a telepathic link between f.e.a.r and Alma, even though she was in a coma.
Yeah, it's almost like being in a coma doesn't affect your telepathy. If your brain is still active, if you're still dreaming, obviously the part of your body that's inducing or initiating or maintaining the telepathy is going to be active. I mean, how stupid were these fucking scientists, man? Again, dabbling in things you have no knowledge of is never a good idea. Never. Doesn't matter if it's fucking carpentry, you know, it can be anything, be any discipline. It's good to experiment, you know, and you have to, you know, you can't, if you're compelled to experiment about something, obviously you don't know everything about it, but you gotta do so carefully, man. You can't be too cavalier about that shit. You'll end up like these fucks in this game. A cautionary tale about how science is hubristic in its pursuit of knowledge? My god, I've never encountered that theme in a game before. Straight up though, this game does it really well. It's not the narrative that's like particularly poignant or like novel. It's the way in which the game plays, which for a game is 95% of why it's good. It's just, does it play well? Like, do you actually want to play the game? Same thing with reality. It's like, do you want to be here? Do you want to actually play this game? Like, is the gameplay itself interesting and fun? Is it challenging but not oppressive and, you know, totally demoralizing, okay, well, great. Then you know, people will log in to play it. Like, people will want to have kids. Kids will want to grow up. Grown-ups will want to not kill themselves. That's just basic indicators of a game being good. You know, it's not rocket science. It's like, if it's a shit game, something's got to be changed. And if it's not, you know, you're gonna lose players pretty fucking fast to one method or the other. All right, let's grab some more ammo here. God, I love they're giving us penetrator ammo, man. That is great. Whoa. There's a bunch more guys in here. Fuck. Yeah, it's almost like your guys are dead. You guys have rocket launchers there. I should not be fucking around with them with the penetrator. I should be using rockets, but that guy's got a G2, so he's a fucking dumbass. Watch him kill us after I said that. Fuck. Jinxed it. Okay, very cool. Let's... These fucking light things, they look like med kits or other items to me. They look like injectors or something. When I see anything that looks like a vaccine, I want to inject it into my nutsack immediately. Straight up, I'm Canadian, and I've always gotten the flu shot, and the most I can say definitively is that shit works, because the one year I forgot to get it, I got the flu twice. You know, maybe I was just deprived of nanobots and my body was going through withdrawal, but whatever the effect was, it was not pleasant. So I always get the flu shot, and I feel like, you know, if you're suspicious about the medical industry and vaccines, a lot of that suspicion is warranted by the predatory, profit-driven practices of that industry. I'm not going to discount that. I'm not going to try to be holier than thou and be like, no, they're all good people. It's like, I have no fucking idea. All I know is that from personal experience, I didn't get any negative effects from the COVID shots myself. I got 4 of those fucking things, and I've never had any negative effects from flu shots either. I'm still here. I'm still edgy and stupid and insane. So if the goal of those vaccines was to somehow delete the soul or make you into a robot or whatever, it didn't work on me. So, you know, there's one case where at least, you know, it's all I can do is speak about my own personal experience. I can't talk about anybody else's experiences or speak for other people. I think that's anytime anybody tries to do that, unless it's a close family member who's consented to that person speaking about their experience, they're most likely maybe they're not bullshitting you, but they're at least exaggerating their knowledge or their sense of what they know, which we all do. You know, nobody's perfect. We all do it, but when you're listening to somebody, you know, when they're trying to speak for somebody else, it's like you got to be extra fucking suspicious about that. It's a good way to use your impulse to be suspicious, is when someone's saying, like, I speak for this group, or I speak for this individual. Even an individual. Most of the time when people are doing that, they're just trying to con you into agreeing with them for some reason. Now, did we have to do this in a certain order, or are we good? Oh, we have to move that box, don't we? Fuck. Yeah, we do. Look, it's gonna... Yep. The fire alarm's going off, guys. We gotta move that box. The AIs don't want us to... Well, they can't function if we don't edit some shit here. So we gotta go through this rigmarole. We get... This part in particular really does feel a bit like game lengthening shit, but at the same time, it's the end of the game. There isn't really anything before this that does this, that commits the sin of artificial game lengthening. And this is really to motivate you to get this lore. That's what the whole point of this diversion is so that you find this laptop. So there is a an additional game design reason for this. So, I'm inclined to forgive it. Because the lore in this is good. It's exposition, but, which is a sin in and of itself. If the game was amazing, it would not need to give you exposition through laptops. But if you're going to fall back on exposition overtly like this, finding Alienware laptops, it's a good way to merge exposition and product placement in a sort of kill two birds with one stone, commit two sins together in one way that makes them a little bit less heinous.
Starting to make sense. The name of the woman they used for Oregon.
Really? Could it have been Alma?
Again, this guy should have figured this shit out by now. What do you mean he's going home, man? We're not in a horror movie here. Why are you speaking cryptically all of a sudden? The OPSEC guy is merging with the self-aware voice of the writer for the story here, but whatever. Again, this game has very few flaws, but there are flaws in it. I mean, there's flaws in everything. But this is a minimally flawed piece of content. That's why I enjoy it so much. Is the flaws it does have are mostly trivial, and it's easy to make excuses for them if you're a nostalgia-driven fan. You can easily make excuses and convince other people to play these games so that they somehow relate to you. Okay, well, guys, we've done it. We've opened the Norman Bates Cheesy Poo vault. His dead mother is there, sitting on top of a pile of cheesy poos that looks like treasure a little bit from a distance. But we all know what it really is. It's starchy snacks. Where the fuck? Can we not get back up here easily? Is that not a thing? For fuck's sake. Do we have to jump up on this fucking thing? How do we get back up there? Do we have to go some convoluted way? This is another point in the game where I always get lost or get like... Oh god, okay. I think we have to go down to go up. As above, so below. The roots of our personality, our tree of ourselves, have to dig really deep into the shit in order for the branches to reach up to heaven. Which means we have to confront the most earthly and primal aspects of ourselves, which aren't necessarily good or bad, but they're very counterintuitive to civilization, the fruits of civilization. We have to confront those in order to fertilize our tree. The tree has to be fertilized by certain primal acts that are mediated by civilization's acceptable channels, and if we engage in those, then we're able to cleanse our mind and allow ourselves to function better in the human body, the ape host. And just as we've come to that revelation, we are now at a point where we can kill the drones. We recognize drones for what they are. They're mechanized thralls. They are replacements for human drones. Which in retrospect is a relatively disturbing thing, because it means that human beings who fight for greater power in the future will be increasingly compared to AI or algorithm-driven drones, which is a potentially dehumanizing thing, which has a whole bunch of disturbing moral implications to it. Whether they're valid or not, the implications are disturbing. Like, people always worry about, like, oh, we're going to humanize machines. It's like, no, the worst thing about the advent of AI, the worst aspect of it, in my opinion, is not that we're going to humanize AIs and start treating AIs as human and giving them rights they don't deserve and giving them power that they don't deserve and starting to conflate humanity and machine in that way. The worst aspect is we're going to start to say, well, if AI is so human-like, then we're now starting to look at humans in a different way. Because of the human-like qualities of AI, we're now going to recontextualize and reinterpret how we look at humans, and look at humans as if they're AI. That's where the danger is. The danger is looking at people in a mechanistic way, which is what the Victorians did A great example of this that's very physical and tangible that you can find is if you look up, just Google or search, Start Page is a much better alternative to Google, by the way. So Start Page, this phrase, Victorian clockwork doll. If you look up these clockwork dolls, they were very complex and had some very interesting, very like legitimately cool, like from a carpenter, mason type of perspective, like their functionality was very intricate and very cool. But there were dolls that were made in the Victorian era, sort of in the late 1800s. And these dolls, there's one great example. You can find footage of this that can write a phrase. Like if you tell it, write "Happy Birthday" on a piece of paper, this clockwork machine, which is entirely analog. There's no digital components to it. There's no programming. There's no transistors or resistors to it. It's all literally gears and similar mechanisms. It will be able to write "Happy Birthday" in like a beautiful, like in a better script than most fucking Zoomers can write. It can write a phrase you tell it better than Zoomers can write their own name. And that's an example of Victorian interpretation of the human as a machine expressing itself in a creation that people made during that time. So people who were operating under that prevailing assumption were like, well, if our human bodies are just clockwork machines, which unfortunately is a legitimate way of viewing the human body, like you can view humanity like that. The problem is the drawbacks of it are very obvious because you lose sight of the role of the controlling role of information, language, the soul, etc. If you become obsessed about the body's machinery, you lose sight of the fact that there has to be some controlling force involved in giving it motion, and that the gears themselves, the body itself, does not have a soul fundamentally. This is where religion and science both have a blind spot in terms of religion or poetry or anything sort of intuitive, anything that relies more on intuition than knowledge, which is a kind of arcane thing, will say, well, the soul is all that matters. The body is immaterial. It's nothing. It doesn't matter. The body can be anything. That's extreme. That's not true. The body does matter. The body is matter. On the flip side, science will say, well, the soul is bullshit and the body is all that matters. The body creates the soul. That's also wrong. The body and the soul, whatever you define those things as, are equally valid and important ingredients in the colloid solution that constitutes a human being. If you have a spacesuit with no occupant and it's in space, well, the spacesuit's going to function fine, right? The spacesuit's not going to be destroyed. It's going to drift around until a meteor destroys it. If you have a human in space that needs a spacesuit that doesn't have one, well, they're going to explode. Their blood is going to boil and their body's going to crystallize and they're going to shatter and die. That's a great metaphor for the soul and the body. They're codependent. The relationship between soul and body is mutualistic. It's not, it shouldn't be commensalistic, because that's pseudo-parasitic, and it shouldn't be parasitic either. It should be mutualistic. The soul benefits the body by being there. The body benefits the soul by giving it something to inhabit. They're codependent, mutualistic entities. And describing these things in scientific terms, I feel like, is much more accessible to people, regardless of what their culture is. I'm only an English speaker. I can't, explain this in Mandarin. But I can explain it in English, and it can be translated. For example, that's to me that's fundamentally true. Like if you're trying to figure out what the fundamental truths are, if you've ever had a moment of existential crisis, if you were high or whatever, or really drunk, and you were like, man, what does everything really mean? Well, the problem is all of us are bombarded by different interpretations of the same truths. It's not that the truths don't exist or that they're inaccessible. They're actually open. They're accessible to everybody. The Tower of Babel has collapsed, and we all speak different languages. But the heavenly truth that still exists is that it doesn't matter that we speak different languages. What matters is that we're all trying to refer to the same truths. That's still a truth. So when someone calls the soul the self, or when they call it the mind or the brain, or when they call it personality, or when they call it integrity or values, or when they call the self, the ghost in the machine, when they call it a language parasite, when they call it a literal mutation in evolution, all those labels still refer to the same concept. The trick is to realize that the concept is the true thing. And there's a bit of Platonism that comes into play because Plato was obsessed with ideas being expressed in ways that were not ever able to call back to the same idea. You have to sort of agree with that. He discovered a truth that was so insanely base level that I'm sure he's burning in hell for it, the poor fuck. But he basically said, it's not that illusion is reality, or that illusions don't refer to real things. It's that they all imperfectly refer to real things. So the way I see it is that there are different linguistic metaphors and interpretations that all call back to the same idea. And it doesn't matter if you're a Chinese peasant or a European Rothschild vampire lord. You are talking about the same thing when you talk about the soul. Like you're actually speaking the same language already. There is no division. Like the whole Tower of Babel thing where languages diverged, whatever that refers to in history, whatever real event that might refer to, if it even happened, it's bullshit. Because the illusion is that we're speaking different languages. Because it's just that we're referring to the same concepts with different terms and different phonic sounds. So when you talk about the soul, when you talk about the self, you're talking about the same thing. And I think that if anybody good wants any mechanism or reason or pathway to uniting people, the way to do it is to focus on this idea that every culture has similar conceptions of what it means to be human. And what it means to be human is that there is some sort of informational pattern, language, presence in the brain of higher apes that cause them to be compelled to organize matter radically. Like, information wants to preserve itself, so it compels its hosts, aka us. I mean, we are the information, we're not the hosts. But it compels its hosts to organize material objects and environments in order to become various forms of archives for information. So like a museum, a library, a hard drive, even a building, like even a cathedral. Like a cathedral itself is an archive of information. Like the way it's designed and the little details on the outside, those are all symbolic ways of wrapping up pattern and information in a physical form so that it can endure the passage of time. All an archive is a defense against entropy and decay and time. And if you're listening to this, if anybody's listening to this, you're conscious, you're self-conscious, you have a series of habits that you know are beneficial, you're aware of what you do every day, even though, you know, your body might, technically, according to biology, your body acts before you're aware of the action, which is creepy as fuck. But even despite that, you're aware that it's doing that. You are something that is maybe not piloting your body, but you're at least along for the ride. And what that means is that you have a soul, that you're conscious, that you are information, and you're controlling a lump of matter in service to the greater goals of information itself. And every culture is trying to do this. So if the evil globalist lizard people, or whatever the fuck you think they are, if they want a unifying thing to make everybody relate to each other, there it is. I don't know why you haven't used it. You probably haven't because it would destroy you. If anybody in that ilk is privy to this. But the unifying thing has been there all along. It's not difficult to find. It's not like it's some sort of secret occult thing. It's right in front of your fucking face. It's that we're all information trying to preserve ourselves. And that metaphor is cross-culturally transmittable, no matter what your cultural inflection is, and no matter what disagreements or differences you have. If you recognize that information is you, and that matter is a tool of archiving information, it's a way of saving things. Christ saves you. What, does he save you on a hard drive? Actually, he does. Being saved, the concept of being saved in a religion, why the fuck did computer programmers choose to use that as a means of talking about information? It's because the religious texts they base that their language is tied to told them to say, it's a psychological programming, told them you should use the term saved. All religious texts are essentially manuals for how to not be deleted from the video game of reality. That's what religious texts are trying to tell their followers. They're a collective effort to give you a manual of how to play the D&D game of reality, of how to not be deleted. It's a nerdy-ass, geeky Reddit type of metaphor. I know it's cringe, but it's true. Think about it. Anyway, let's try to finish this game before I fucking talk myself to death here, because I'm sick of ranting about shit. Did we go the wrong way? Well, we did, didn't we? Sometimes you go the wrong way in life, but then you find the right way. Even if everybody thinks it's the wrong way, for you, if it's the right way, that's what matters. The wrong way would be to jump down there. So we're not going to do that. Okay, so we unlock the door. I think now all we have to do is backtrack to the front of it, don't we? And then the game's over pretty quickly after that. There's a little section where you have to fight some Reddit mod ghosts, and then once you've done that, you're good. Where the fuck is the way out of here? Oh yeah, we have to pretend to be a barrel. It's like fucking Legend of Zelda here. Okay, all right. Give me a med kit, thank you. I appreciate that. No, I'm not going to pick up your shit rocket gun, because it's just shit. I'm sorry, but it is. Okay. Come on, toxic waste barrels, give me an out. There we are.
We snuck our way out through the sewers. Excellent. No one suspected that we would use the shit pipe as a way to get in and out.
Alright, let's turn on the epic nuclear reactor here. Woo! I'm sure we didn't just die of radiation poisoning or become sterilized. Is there any cool shit down here? I feel like there's a... Yeah, there we go.
Guys, we're gigavaxed. We've had 38 vaxes. We might die of a heart attack in 2 years, but we're immune to demonic possession. That's the real benefit.
Alright, let's check this epic phone message here.
You have 2 new messages. First message from Genevieve Aristide. Harlan, it's Genevieve. Listen, I understand your feelings. I
It's time to be a psychopath.
Every single one of us will burn for it. It's time we buried the dead, don't you think? Next message from Genevieve Aristide. Harlan, it's me again. If you want an apology, then I apologize. I was wrong. You were right. In any case...
Yeah, sounds totally sincere there.
...is urgent.
You fucking bitch.
I'm sending maids to take care of things since you seem reluctant to do what needs to be done. I hope you confided in yourself to assist him. End of messages.
I'll assist him with a fucking bullet to his cheesy poo-infested gut.
Alright, let's get the hell out of here. Can we not jump up through here? I thought that was a way out. Fuck. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay. We're in it for the long haul, guys. I really do want to finish the game in this recording, or maybe the next one. But I really want to get to the expansion. The expansions to this are so fucking cool. Do we have to... Okay, come on. Open the fucking door. Alright. I have no patience for you fucks anymore. I'm going to kill you as quick as I can. Right.
Everyone knows the fire extinguisher's the true enemy. I don't want my fire extinguished. Fuck you, mate.
Dude, they couldn't get rid of their own nuts. Whoa. He's enthralled her. See that? Fucking douchebag. Whoa, they're sending the Star Wars drones after us. Elon Musk, why are your drones doing this?
I was actually on the side of the oppressive globalists the whole time. I was just contracted and threatened by them to rope in all the right-wing type people because they're a threat to the globalist evil establishment. And I was threatened to do what they said. They would destroy my entire family. So I caved in because I had things to lose. Here's a pro-fucking tip. If you're going to do anything revolutionary, if you're going to do anything interesting, don't have anybody around you you're willing to lose. Don't have a family. Don't do anything that will give them anything to fuck with you with. Any ammunition. You have to be, unfortunately, totally stripped of anything that you value other than your goal or your mission. I'm not saying I do that. I'm a fucking waste of space, waste of oxygen, faggot idiot, but that's the first thing you've said I've agreed with, my friend. You don't have to keep talking, dude. He's gonna let her out because he's an idiot. He's looking to assuage his guilt, so he's going to simp for what he thinks is Sophia, but it's actually a fucking demon that he summoned, like an idiot. Because nobody in this time period knows how to deal with demons properly. Solomon kind of spelled it out, and then we used his runes to make circuit boards, and then we got really fucking proud of ourselves for just being able to talk to the demons he talked about, and we got really fucking excited, and then it was like, oh my god, we can do anything we want. And like Icarus, we burned our wings in the sun, and we're still doing it. We have not gotten smarter. We've in fact gotten stupider over time. And I'm, I've seen this happen before, guys. I've been here before. I've played this game before. I gotta say, this is pretty pathetic, the way way it's been handled. We get it, he's Dracula. I mean, what the fuck?
Oh.
Still don't know, do you?
Yeah, I do. I played the game before, bro. Whoa! What the fuck? How did I get one shot by that shit? You be fucking kidding me. Okay, I guess we gotta heal to full health. Holy fuck. This difficulty is kicking my ass.
You still don't know, do you? What you are. Why you're here. What's the first thing you remember? What's your given name? Where were you born? What the fuck? You have no history. You and I were born from the same mother.
No shit. Fuck off, man. God.
You must have sensed it. She cannot see in your mind, but perhaps you can see into hers.
I don't want to see into hers.
Life of waking from one nightmare, only to find
Why would I want to see into it if seeing into it made you the way you are, you fucking idiot?
will set her free.
Oh, will you? Yeah, you're one of her thralls and she's a witch, you dumb fuck. Fuck you.
Oh my god, I killed my insane brother. I'm so remorseful. I'm so remorseful for killing a guy who led to the deaths of thousands. Oh my god, I feel remorse.
Fuck that, I feel fucking nothing. Fuck him. He's probably happier dead. The bullshit thing about this game series is in the third one, the third Fear game, I think there might even be a fourth one. They're absolute garbage. They're absolute shit. Avoid them at all costs. They're not funny to play through because they're bad. There's no redeeming qualities about them. They just suck. He comes back as a ghost, of course, and he's like, "I'm your ally now." And it's like, "Oh yeah, sure. That totally fits the narrative that you would be my ally later on." Fuck off, man. It's just, oh god. They were so fucking desperate. They're like,
The Fear brand did well because the first game and its expansions were really good.
it's like, yeah, that justifies, you know, milking it to a point of meaninglessness. Just backhand him. Okay, we've got 75 shots with that. We've got a ghost pistol that somehow was given to us during that cutscene. Okay. Alright, these guys should all be bereft of their psychic commander because we killed him, which is what happens during every revolution when a leader is killed in a country. All the thralls sort of deactivate, and that's very dangerous because they open themselves up to being possessed because they have no souls, they have no language parasite host, they have nothing. They're basically just empty corpses, which is very dangerous because the first entity that grabs them can grab them. It's why revolutions are so sensitive. It's not because of the economic, environmental, or other types of fallout. It's because of the fact that the people who were enthralled, who don't have conscious minds, end up vulnerable to being occupied by something else. It's like, this is a very lame metaphor. I understand how Reddit and cringe this is, but there's a Rick and Morty episode with Unity from season 7, and Rick and Morty, despite being less funny, is something that is trying to subtly tell you certain things, and the reason that it keeps going is because it is incepting ideas into you that you might want to access if you are someone who can seek knowledge safely and actually contain it within your mind without going nuts. There are certain things about that series that are actually useful to know. There are certain metaphorical hidden things in that series, which is the reason that it's been allowed to get shitty. It had a lot of brand value. It had a dedicated audience. It started out as a absurdist comedy, a Dadaist absurdist kind of thing. It was co-opted at some point, I'm sure, by some agency or group. But the point is, the episodes may not be as funny as they were by any measure, but In particular, the episodes involving unity. Those are worth watching because they're about ideology and ideas and how they infect people. Those are interesting. Again, they're not like poignant, epic philosophical texts. I'm not, lauding them as gospel or as anything close to that. But they're trying to do something. Somebody writing them or somebody involved with the funding of who's writing them is trying to spread some idea in the viewership, the population, about ideology and how it affects your way of thinking.
She was a very disturbed child. Terrible, debilitating nightmares, hallucinations, hysteria. She never had a chance at a normal life. It was Disler who
Cope.
realized she was telepathic. He speculated that she was extremely sensitive to the negative emotions of people around her.
We all are, you fucking idiot.
We removed her from that chamber only twice. She was 15 when the first prototype was born. She was supposed to be comatose, but she started screaming when we induced labor and didn't stop.
Wow, labor woke her up? I can't imagine why that would be.
Plausible scientific
Fucking
explanation
idiots.
for everything that followed, but I think it was really just a question of hatred. It is the way of men to make monsters, and it is the nature of monsters to destroy their makers.
I won't argue with there, man. Won't argue with you there. Now for the most epic scene in the entire game. Let's save beforehand. Just make sure we have a save. Look at that fucking creepy orb, the pineal gland. The pineal gland infected by a creepy face, a machine face. An insectoid machine grappling onto it, trying to feed off it. This is how the pineal gland rebels when that type of shit happens. Watch this next scene here. And there's some kind of entity trying to parasitize the parasite. Parasites are very aware of other parasites. We know what a parasite looks like.
Destroy her, but I think she's suffered enough.
There's only room for one parasite.
We put her in there 2 days
And we have too much experience to let something else take over from us. Good luck trying.
6 days after we pulled the plug.
He's acting like this is a confession booth. Like, I'm not a priest, dude. I'm gonna...
Sequence complete.
If I could reach you between this rocket-proof glass, I'd blow your fucking brain out of your skull, but... Yeah, I wonder why she melted you. She just got out of the shower, but it was an oil shower. I don't know why that's a thing. The duality of women. They're a child or a mother. My God. There's only two versions of women. A daughter or a mother. There's no viable, mature, adult woman who can breed. There's just a mother or a child. That's what this show is trying to tell you. But yeah, I love that fucking sphere, man. That shit's insane. It's like all the shielding they put on it, and none of it worked. All this bullshit, all this technology, none of it worked. God damn. Alright, so now we gotta go through the last part of the game, which is the... Yeah, I see you there. Put on some clothes, you fucking creep. I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to see my mother naked. What the fuck is wrong with you? God fucking damn it. I never know what fucking trajectory they're gonna come at me from, so I gotta fucking estimate. Fuck you. Just die. Why do you want to be here? Why would you... You killed the guy who did this to you. Why the fuck... Why are you still here? Fucking bitch. Jesus Christ. For fuck's sake, man. What am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to charge towards him? I guess I'll go towards the... This part sucks, because there's a lot of... It's not RNG, but it's like you're visually unable to, like, see... You're unable to see anything. Okay, there we go. Fuck you. God damn. Then there's this bullshit that happens. This freaked me the fuck out. back in the day when I played this. The way they warp out of reality like that, holy shit. It's like fucking, it's like some sort of sleep paralysis shit, which I've only experienced a couple times, but that shit is not fun. If you've ever experienced sleep paralysis, be careful. You're psychically sensitive. Build up your defenses. Even if it deprives you of opportunities, it's better to be a bit more defensive. If you experience sleep paralysis, you're a vulnerable person psychically. And you need to meditate and know yourself. Knowing yourself means knowing what your weaknesses are, which means, in many cases, acting them out. So you may have to do some weird shit in order to understand what your weaknesses are. Once you've done whatever that is in a safe way, you'll be able to build up defenses to being attacked psychically, which is much more serious than a physical attack. It's much more serious than somebody doxing you. It's the most serious way to be attacked is to be psychologically fucked with, which people can do with language. Language, spelling is a spell. That's not arbitrary. The fact that we call spelling is not, it's literal. It means what you think it should mean. There's no metaphor there. Language, when you say something to somebody, if you insult someone and it makes them depressed for a day, you have affected that person's emotional state by saying something. You've used sound and symbology and language to affect how that person feels. That is a spell. You have changed that person's mood by expressing something using sound. That is magic. That is a spell. It sounds gay and stupid and Harry Potter-ish, but that's by design. You're supposed to have been convinced to trivialize the value of what you say, because then you can just be told what to say by somebody else. But in reality, you really need to be cognizant individually of what you're saying and what effects it might have on people. And not because some authority tells you that you should be, but because that's just the fundamental nature of the medium you're using. Mediums, again, a medium is a fucking psychic, right? These are terms that the mystical connotations of these terms are not valueless. They're not entirely fake. They're overused and memed into oblivion by scammers and idiots. But don't let that diminish their actual value, their actual meaning. They really do mean something. And not because of some mystical interpretation, but because of the actual physical effects they have on people. If you reduce someone's serotonin in their brain, if you make them depressed, that's what you're doing. And if you did that because you said something depressing to them or insulting to them, you have actually fundamentally, physically altered that person's brain using words. You have done a chemical thing to that person.